Start by removing the under tray. We've got 3 T30Torq screws at the front, a trim clip either side, and 3 more T30Torqs at the rear of the under tray. Now this engine has a plastic sump and a plastic sump plug. The size of the key is approximately 3/8, so I've been able to do this using a ratchet. However, this was actually loose enough to do by hand if required. So remove the sump plug and leave the oil to drain. If you have a new O-ring, replace the O-ring on the sump plug and replace the sump plug once the oil has finished draining. Now to locate the oil filter. Below this air pipe here, you need to undo the Jubilee clips and remove the rubber hose. The oil filter socket is 27mm. Removing the oil filter can be a little bit messy, so be prepared to clean up any stray oil afterwards. Now the new oil filter goes into the engine first and not into the housing like the one we've removed. But firstly we'll need to replace the O-ring on the housing. Now these O-rings are the rectangular profile type, so you'll need to make sure that it's not twisted at all once it's seated. And once you've got it seated correctly, try and smear some oil over the new O-ring. Now this type of oil filter have a protrusion that needs to locate in the hole that you can see in the oil filter housing. So locate this first and you'll be able to feel when it's in the hole and just push it down so that it's seated correctly before replacing the filter housing top. And the torque required on the housing is only 25 Newton meters. Replace the air intake joint. And now we're ready to top up the oil. So the capacity on this engine is 6.2 litres. So initially we can safely add 6 litres exactly, and once we've ran the engine and switched off again, we we can check the level and add the remaining 0.2 litres if required. So replace the filler cap before running the engine and switch the engine on, run for a few minutes and switch off, after which you'll want to check the sump plug and oil filter housing for any signs of leaks. And don't forget to clean up any mess that you've left behind from the filter. Now we can check the dipstick, so remove the dipstick and wipe it clean. As you can see, even before we've cleaned it, we're almost at the mark. We'll clean it and check it again. So it looks like we're safe to add the 0.2 litres that were remaining, but just be careful. Now to replace the air filter, we've got 4 7mm screws on the airbox. Now the end of the filter is actually part of the end of the airbox, and the new filter did require a little bit of compression to allow it to seat correctly. So pay attention to the groove on the end of the airbox, as this is where the air filter must seat to be fitted correctly. And once you've got it seated correctly, you can replace the airbox cover. Now for the messy one, we've got the fuel filter. Remove the engine cover, and this is the fuel filter at the rear right of the engine. You need to remove 3 10mm nuts, one of which is underneath the lug for the engine cover. So you'll need to remove this before you can access the 10mm stud. When you remove the rearmost 10mm nut, you'll have a stud underneath, which is also 10mm. Remove this wiring plug here. Couldn't record these with one hand, but press the white tab to remove the fuel line, and for this one you need to lift the centre and press the remaining tab around the outside to remove this second fuel line. Now with the fuel lines out of the way, you'll need a 24mm socket to turn the top of the housing. Now when I removed the filter, I just left it on top of the housing briefly just to drain out any excess diesel. The new filter will come with an O-ring. So fit this new O-ring on the filter housing top. Replace this green one here. When fitting the new filter, fit it to the housing top first. And you'll be able to see when the housing is closed fully, as there is a plastic tab that stops you from turning any further. So be careful not to over tighten and cause any damage. Now when I'm changing fuel filters, I tend to cycle the ignition, which usually powers up the pre-delivery pump and means that you don't experience any air in the system. However, it didn't work for me this time. Another way to do it is to, once you've got the engine running, build up the revs, which sometimes can bypass the air gap that you end up with after changing the filter. The cabin filter is located in the passenger footwell, and you'll need to remove 2 trim clips like the ones that you saw in the under tray. And when removing the cabin filters, just check the direction of airflow, as it does differ on some vehicles depending on the orientation of the heater matrix. So just make sure that you match up the new filter with the old filter. To reset the service light, turn on the ignition
and immediately press both the accelerator pedal and the brake pedal. And you'll need to wait about 25 seconds. Turn off the ignition. And the service light is off.